You know, round about the year 2000, I was one of the very first people to jump on top of the table at the thought that someone like Dr. Stephen Greer, trust me, I'm a Dr. Stephen Greer, would disclose to the assembled experts of Washington and congressmen and politicians this. I had a fabulous disclosure package from military witnesses, pilots, really credible, highly credible witnesses. That's disclosure in the year 2000. I thought to myself, what could go wrong? Apart from the fact that Stephen Greer claims that all aliens are good and that his head somehow ended up in his soul ended up in a hive somewhere. He had to fight and get it back, or so he thought anyway. Not good anyway. But anyway, the disclosure movement, that was the year 2000, which, be honest, that's 17 years ago. And what's happened since then is there's been an awful lot of conferences and lectures and DVDs and books sold. Not that I'm griping about that. People are welcome to obviously make money on a circuit and all that stuff. It's not the thing. And we've had things like transhumanism has finally emerged. I was somewhat irritating to the transhumanists in the 1990s, but I did ask them a lot of good questions, and I suppose they took note of that, which is good or bad depending on what side of the fence you're on. Technology and science was going to come forward. What hasn't come forward though, from the 1990s has been this full throttle necessity to disclose that people have been interacting with and most likely often traumatized by alien interactions, close encounters of the worst possible kind. I don't think J. Allen Hynek had a word for that. CE4, CE5 doesn't really cut it. You know, you've got people with brand marks on their skin and rips and tears on their private parts and horrible stuff. Bunch of terrible terrorists, these evil alien things. I'm supposed to characterize them as a particular colour. I don't want to be anti-grey, you know, etc., etc. But the thing is, though, as Dr. Michael Salla eventually said in his Prepare for Contact list, let's not demonise the greys or demonise the aliens, or basically, according to most witnesses, demonise the demons. Don't demonise the demons. You don't need to, because they're quite demonic enough. You don't need to further characterise them as being bad. I get the point. They're not all bad. It's quite xenophobic to say that every non-human out there is bad. Of course not. In the same way, Dr. Stephen Greer cannot, in a class of logic, you know, Logic 101 at university, he couldn't assert that all aliens are good because he's never met them all. No one has. In the same way, you can't say on the other side of that coin that all aliens are bad. You can't say. You just can't say it. You can't use these extremes of language, or extremes of semantics rather, to say that characterize all of everything as being something when you've never seen or heard or touched or experienced all of anything. No one has. So we can't use extremes of language like all the aliens are evil, or all the aliens are demons, or all the aliens are angels or star brothers. You can't say these things, all of this, all of that. Can't say it. Can't say it at all. However, disclosure was going to come, apparently in the year 2000. It didn't. And then years of optimistic, is it going to be Bush that discloses? Clinton that, Bill Clinton that discloses? Hillary Clinton, is she going to disclose anything? Is Obama finally can get back at the incoming last trumpet or whatever, and he can disclose that aliens have done. No, the real reason that they can't disclose is it's all way above their pay grades. It's all way above their security clearance, because flying in the skies overhead on a nightly basis are these huge big ships heading wherever, not necessarily of human construction, obviously. So, and all of the human corporations are all can assume that they're human corporations. Maybe the gophers or the wee monkeys that are running about with their wrenches and all that stuff, they're all repairing the machinery, but probably at another level of reality, you've got a different sort of social engineering, a complete different species are engineering mankind. You might say, how can that be? It can only be nonsense. But, it can only be true. It can only be true. that if in fact there are ancient aliens, they've been here a long time. They definitely haven't interfered for the benefit of mankind. We can tell because our oceans, our radioactive Pacific Ocean, which is full of Fukushima poisoning, could easily be swept and cleaned by this alien technology. Basically, you had the Philadelphia experiment, remember? Philadelphia experiment teleported thousands of tons of iron or steel sideways, 200 miles. That same technology used by aliens could teleport radioactive, just set the sweep with, instead of picking out iron molecules from the sea, pick out the radioactive elements like cesium, radioactive cesium, radium, and instead of beaming it 200 miles sideways, they could beam it 200 miles up and out into space. There's no problem. They've got the technology to sort this out, but they haven't. They're letting us all fester off. Now, the coming zombie apocalypse, that's another thing. Now, people think it's all a bit of fun, the umbrella corporation, but what we're seeing at the moment are hordes and hordes of people living with some rather extreme contradictions. How these contradictions never meet in their mind, I don't know. Something's managing these contradictions in their minds. I don't want to get too specific right now. I'm going to get into that later on, but there are people living with vast contradictions in their heads. Just in their heads, huge contradictions. Contradictions of semantics, of spirituality, contradictions of ideologies, and how these things can sit side by side and not short out, I don't know. I don't understand. But anyway, that's something I'm going to look at. It might have something to do with mind control, conditioning, whatever, but there's some other factor at work here that is not as conducive to civilization, shall we say, as it could be. But maybe that's the plan, is just to wipe us out using, whatever. Have you read Project Daylily? Professor, is it Nicholson, isn't it? Project Daylily, where they've engineered these mycoplasms. But mycoplasms are membranes full of unhappy material that will get into your body and do naughty stuff to you. So they've engineered this sort of zombie apocalypse. That people they first injected them into prisoners. Gave it prisoners. And the thing is, in Texas, I think it was actually, something like that, some in the southern states, and these prisoners kind of infected the guards infected their families, so this mycoplasms, apparently it's been going about for a while, Project Daylily, checkable research, you just have to check it out. If you think I'm talking rubbish, just go and check it out. Thing is though, that's one of many, obviously, that's one of many. I mean, look at the toxic stuff in the food that we're getting, horrible additives in our food, and of course there's fluoride in our drinking supply. There's all sorts of stuff like that put in to dumb us down for the coming walkabout. Can you imagine people going walkabout full of, with that, they got their vaporizer, vaping smoke thing in one hand and their iPhone in the other, and they're running about trying to slay Pokemon with breaths of vape that are manifested in virtual reality as fire-breathing dragons. Can you imagine all this stuff going on? People's heads, unhappy stuff, man. So much for Pokemon. But that's the whole of reality. It's turned into that. Not good, but that will go in that particular direction. In the meantime, things like books, logical truth, even political truth have all gone south, haven't they? Let's be honest about it. Don't know how far south we have to go to find them, but maybe to the Antarctic. You see these UFOs parked on the ice, under the ice. Not incredible. Unless, of course, the NSA have been getting their nerds in to do some Google stuff and all that. Maybe see a picture of Adolf Hitler under the ice or something like that. But hard to tell where this is going. You just can't trust any kind of digital medium at all. And I wouldn't worry about, from my point of view, I put out this story about how I had this kind of wooden cross and I got a hole pierced into it by some demonic entity, put a hole in it in the Christ side. I didn't. The Christ, the image of Christ I had, didn't have a hole in the side, and some demonic thing pierced it. But that's all it could get away with. Otherwise, it could have pierced it anywhere, but it could only pierce it there. So it got to do at the maximum it was allowed to do. But I noticed that the soundtrack on that's kind of. You should check that. Check out the soundtrack. If you can hear anything of me talking on it, let me know. But someone's really done a big number on that, turned it down about 30 decibels. If you can hear me talking, that'd be great, but it doesn't matter. I'm not fussed these days. I mean, I'm probably buried in a small corner of Google, pretty much unfindable by everybody. It doesn't matter too much. At the end of the day, we're all waking up at the same time. We're all seeing the same things. Many of us are recognizing these contradictions in society, in our own heads, in what we're being told, what we're being taught. Contradictions everywhere. And the more you look, the more you'll find, obviously. But the main thing is that we don't get sucked along. Is there going to be disclosure? No. Of course there's not going to be disclosure. How can there possibly be disclosure? Because by their own admission, the alleged governments, we pay our taxes to these governments, we pay money to these governments, we've got a fiscal and a political duty to administer to the taxpayers that are voting for them, to the citizens that are voting for them, and yet at the same time we're told by various alleged whistleblowers that these citizens are being sold over to aliens for genetic experiments and stuff. Obviously, if the government's disclosed, there'd be so many class action lawsuits that there would be no profit left in it for the governments after everybody was paid off, you know. Can't see it. Governments get this great anti-gravity payout in technology, or they get some first-class tickets on the Death Star, wherever it's going or whatever. But the price of that is selling out a couple of million human beings in a particular program. Do you think for 1 minute the government's going to hand over that list? 2 million claimants. 2 million, at least 2 million claimants, and the impact on our lives. And let's not go there. Do you think they're going to give up on all that profit by disclosing who they victimised? I don't think so. But I mean, that's just, maybe I'm a bit cynical about that, haha. But, you know, at the end of the day, let's not expect disclosure. Let's keep our wits about us. Let's keep hydrating, drinking clean water and good water, as much water as we can handle, actually. Let's keep ourselves hydrated. Let's keep the nutrition going. And let's do our best. There's a strange word I'm going to introduce, and many of you folks will not recognise that word, you not even understand why I would introduce a word like that. But we have to pray. We have to pray. Because if we don't pray, we're not connected, we're not resonating with a higher reality. If we don't pray, we're just resonating with the radioactive junk in our oceans and the radioactive garbage in our lives. We're just resonating with the darkest of stuff if we don't pray. The human race has got a prayer. We've all individually got choices to make. Do we want to be part of that? Do you want to be born into that again? Or do you want somewhere much better? I think most of us say we want something much better. Unless you think you're going to be kings and queens and you can do a wee deal or whatever. I don't think so. That stuff doesn't keep its deals. That's the whole point. That's one of the reasons that the governments don't want you to find out anyway. The governments have no control over this stuff. Human government has no control over what these aliens or demons do. They can't enforce it. What are they going to do? Demons don't want to do this or that. If they materialise in your bunker, what are you going to do? No chance. So I wouldn't worry about it. Prayer is very important. I think prayer keeps us safe anyway. But that's just my own opinion. I would just not expect there to be disclosure anytime soon. And, let's good luck with that one then.